Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the latest updates surrounding the Kansas City Chiefs. The main story we're covering is the buzz around a potential roster move that could shake things up for the team. We'll also be talking about the latest news involving head coach Andy Reid and looking ahead to the playoffs. So, stick around, because there's a lot to unpack. Let's get into it. The first story is all about a major prediction that's been making waves in the Chiefs' world. According to a recent article from the Sporting News, the Kansas City Chiefs might be cutting ties with a 28-year-old Pro Bowler. Yes, you heard that right. This isn't just speculation, it's a bold prediction that could have significant implications for the team's future. The player in question is none other than wide receiver JuJu Schuster, who joined the Chiefs in 2022 after spending the first 5 years of his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. JuJu Schuster was brought in to help fill the void left by Tyreek Hill's departure to the Miami Dolphins. While he didn't put up the same explosive numbers as Hill, Schuster played a crucial role in the Chiefs' offense during their Super Bowl-winning 2022 season. He finished the regular season with 78 receptions for 933 yards and 3 touchdowns, providing Patrick Mahomes with a reliable target in key moments. His ability to move the chains and make contested catches was particularly valuable in critical situations. However, the 2023 season has been a different story. Schuster has struggled to stay healthy and hasn't been as impactful as the Chiefs had hoped. Injuries have limited his availability, and when he has been on the field, his production has dipped significantly. This has led to speculation that the Chiefs might consider moving on from him to free up cap space and make room for younger or more dynamic talent. The article from the Sporting News suggests that cutting ties with Schuster could be a strategic move for the Chiefs. He's set to count for a significant portion of the team's salary cap in 2024, and with the Chiefs needing to address other areas of the roster, such as the offensive line, defensive depth, or even another wide receiver. This could be a way to create financial flexibility. The Chiefs have a history of making tough but calculated decisions to keep their roster competitive, and this could be another example of that approach. It's worth noting that Schuster's departure wouldn't leave the Chiefs completely empty-handed at the wide receiver position. Players like Rashee Rice, a rookie who has shown flashes of potential, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who has been a deep threat for Mahomes, could step into larger roles. Additionally, the Chiefs might look to the draft or free agency to add more firepower to their receiving corps. But let's not forget, this is still just a prediction. Nothing is set in stone. And the Chiefs' front office, led by general manager Brett Veach, has a history of making savvy decisions to keep the team in championship contention. Veach and head coach Andy Reid have consistently found ways to retool the roster without sacrificing their ability to compete for Super Bowls. Still, the possibility of losing a player like Schuster, who has proven he can contribute in big moments, is something that can't be ignored. So what do you think? Should the Chiefs part ways with JuJu Schuster to free up cap space? Or is it too risky to let go of a veteran receiver who has shown he can perform in clutch situations? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And speaking of big decisions, our next story involves the man who's been steering the ship for the Chiefs, Andy Reid. What's the latest with the legendary head coach? Stay tuned to find out. The second story is all about Andy Reid, the mastermind behind the Kansas City Chiefs' success. As we head into the playoffs, all eyes are on Reid to see how he'll guide this team through the postseason. But there's more to the story than just X's and O's. Reid's impact on the Chiefs and the NFL as a whole extends far beyond his play calling and strategic brilliance. In 2024, he's been making headlines not just for his coaching prowess, but also for his leadership off the field. His emphasis on team culture, and his ability to adapt in an ever-changing league. Andy Reid's coaching resume speaks for itself. With multiple Super Bowl appearances and 2 championships under his belt with the Chiefs, he solidified his place among the greatest coaches in NFL history. His innovative offensive schemes have revolutionized the game, and his ability to maximize the talents of players like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill has been nothing short of remarkable. But what truly sets Reid apart is his ability to connect with his players on a personal level. Recently, Reid has been vocal about the importance of team chemistry and mental health. In interviews and press conferences, he's emphasized that a strong locker room is just as crucial as a strong game plan. Reid understands that football is as much about relationships and trust as it is about execution on the field. This approach has resonated deeply with his players, many of whom have spoken openly about how Reid's leadership has helped them grow both as athletes and as individuals. For example, Reid has been a strong advocate for mental health awareness, encouraging his players to prioritize their well-being and seek support when needed. This focus on the human element of the game has created a culture of openness and accountability within the Chiefs organization. It's no coincidence that the team has remained a perennial contender despite the challenges of salary cap constraints and roster turnover. Reid's ability to foster a positive and inclusive environment has been a key factor in the Chiefs' sustained success. However, as much as Reid's leadership has been a stabilizing force for the Chiefs, there's been some speculation about his future with the team. At 66 years old, Reid is one of the oldest head coaches in the NFL, and questions about retirement have been swirling for the past few seasons. While he's under contract for the foreseeable future, the topic of how much longer he'll continue coaching is a recurring theme in NFL discussions. Reid, for his part, has dismissed these rumors, stating that he's fully focused on bringing another championship to Kansas City. In a recent press conference, he joked that he still feels young and energized, thanks to the passion he has for the game and the relationships he's built with his players and staff. Reid's love for coaching is evident in the way he approaches his job, and it's clear that he's not ready to walk away just yet. That said, the question of who might eventually succeed Reid looms in the background. The Chiefs have a strong coaching staff, including offensive coordinator Matt Nagy and defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, both of whom have head coaching experience. While Reid's eventual departure will undoubtedly be a significant moment for the franchise, the groundwork has been laid for a smooth transition whenever that day comes. For now, though, Reid's focus is squarely on the playoffs. His ability to adapt and inspire has been a driving force behind the Chiefs' success, and it'll be fascinating to see how he navigates the challenges ahead. The postseason is a different beast, and Reid's experience and strategic acumen will be critical as the Chiefs look to make another deep run. And speaking of challenges, our next story takes us to the playoffs. What's in store for the Chiefs as they gear up for another postseason run? Let's break it down. The third story is all about the playoffs, and for the Kansas City Chiefs, this is where the real work begins. After a strong regular season, the Chiefs are once again in the mix for a Super Bowl title. But as we all know, the playoffs are a whole different ballgame. The intensity ramps up, the margin for error shrinks, and every play can be the difference between advancing or going home. For a team like the Chiefs, who have been perennial contenders in recent years, the expectations are sky high. The question isn't just whether they'll make the playoffs, it's whether they can make another deep run and bring home another Lombardi trophy. This year, the Chiefs' path to the Super Bowl won't be easy. The AFC is stacked with talent, and there are several teams that could pose a serious threat to Kansas City's championship aspirations. Teams like the Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills, and Cincinnati Bengals have all shown they can compete at the highest level, and each of them has the potential to knock the Chiefs off their throne. The Ravens, in particular, have been dominant this season, boasting a balanced offense and a stifling defense. The Bills and Bengals, meanwhile, have proven they can go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs in high-stakes games, as we've seen in recent playoff matchups. The good news for the Chiefs is that they have Patrick Mahomes, who continues to play at an MVP level. Mahomes has been the engine that drives this team, and his ability to make plays out of nothing is unmatched. Whether it's a perfectly placed deep ball, a scramble to extend a play, or a clutch throw in the fourth quarter, Mahomes has shown time and time again that he's capable of carrying the Chiefs to victory. His connection with Travis Kelce remains one of the most potent quarterback tight end duos in NFL history, and that partnership will be crucial in the playoffs. Another positive for the Chiefs is the improvement of their defense. Last season, the defense was a liability at times, but this year they've taken a significant step forward. Coordinator Steve Spagnuolo has done an excellent job of getting the most out of his unit, and players like Chris Jones, L'Jarius Sneed, and Trent McDuffie have been standout performers. The defense's ability to generate pressure on opposing quarterbacks and create turnovers will be critical in the playoffs, especially against high-powered offenses like the Ravens and Bengals. One of the biggest X factors for the Chiefs will be their ability to stay healthy. Injuries have been a concern throughout the season, with key players like Joe Thuney, Isaiah Pacheco, and Kadarius Toney dealing with various ailments. If the Chiefs can keep their core players on the field, they'll be a tough team to beat. Depth will also be important, as the physical nature of playoff football often tests a team's roster from top to bottom. Additionally, the coaching staff will need to make smart adjustments to counter the strategies of their opponents. Andy Reid is one of the best in the business when it comes to game planning, but the playoffs require a different level of preparation. Opposing teams will have had weeks to study the Chiefs' tendencies, so Reid and his staff will need to stay one step ahead. Whether it's incorporating new wrinkles into the offense or making in-game adjustments on defense, the coaching staff's ability to adapt will be a key factor in the Chiefs' success. It's also worth noting that the Chiefs have a history of stepping up in big moments. Whether it's Mahomes pulling off a miraculous play, like his iconic touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill in the 2020 AFC Championship game, or the defense coming up with a crucial stop, this team knows how to win when it matters most. That playoff experience is invaluable, and it gives the Chiefs an edge over teams that might be less battle-tested. So, what's your prediction? Will the Chiefs make another deep playoff run, or will they fall short of their ultimate goal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And before we wrap up, here's a question to ponder. What's the one thing the Chiefs need to do differently this postseason to ensure they come out on top? Is it improving their red zone efficiency? Limiting turnovers? Getting more production from their wide receivers? Let's get the conversation started.